Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I wanted to talk about how gaming destroys heroes, and it's a little bit more of a negative video than usual, but it's something that I wanted to talk about. It's something that I'm experiencing personally, and I always believe that you should talk about things that are important on your life on a YouTube channel that's about you and the vlog, etc., because at least the things you talk about will be passionate. Now, again, it's not a terrible, horrible, evil world, and the things that I'm talking about are just some of the things that I and other people in the gaming area deal with. There's a ton of good, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the bad today. I got this idea when my wife sent me an article. She was reading in the Washington Post about how gaming destroys its heroes, and it was talking about Notch and Mojang. Now, we all know about Minecraft and Mojang and how they sold it to Microsoft, and Notch wanted to do this because he was tired of, Minecraft taking over his life. His whole life was Minecraft. He was slaving away to his, fan base, trying to help them do this. He was making money, but it really wasn't worth it. He sold it to Microsoft because he wanted to move on with his life and do totally different things. Unfortunately, got a lot of hate for this. It wasn't very received. It was pretty negative, and that tends to happen in the gaming space. And we're going to talk about why that happens in the gaming space, like why there is the insane amount of negativity and demand. And we're going to talk about it from two perspectives. First, I'm going to talk about it from the YouTubing, streaming / entertainment perspective, like my personal life, what I deal with on a daily basis. And then secondly, we're going to talk about from a game developer perspective, which I only know from talking to people and seeing a little bit here and there, but I have a better understanding than a lot of people. And again, it's negative. It's not all bad. A lot of great things about my life when we talk about some of the frustrating things. And the idea to talk about on the YouTube space came to me from a streamer. He's a small-time streamer, a subscriber of mine. He used the YouTube 101 series to kind of get going. And he was talking about how he built a fan base, and he was having problems dealing with like crazy amounts of hate for small things. And even bigger problems dealing with fans that wanted to do things for him. Like he had a fan who got cancer, another one his wife died and they wanted favors, or like just sometimes a shoulder to cry on in the digital world. Or he had a very difficult time reaching out to these people and managing their needs and wants on a personal level, which is something that you can't do. And in the message that he sent me, he was talking about, he's like, why do I see so many big YouTubers and streamers? They seem very business-like. They don't seem like they care. They seem very distant. And the real answer to that is you can't. You have to step back. If you go back on my channel, I've made videos on a similar topic a couple of times talking about learning to say no, not sending me weird suicide messages. I had to deal with depression and other things because of this. But I learned how to say no, because if I didn't, I was going to totally burn out, and it would really, really suck, because I really like the gaming thing I've got going on here. It's very nice in my life. And if you look at YouTubers, you have nice guys that learned how to say no and how to ignore crazy messages. And then you do have people that got burnt, they got cold, they got distant, they moved away. That's offensive, and so I'm going to do it this way. And then you have people that are just truly businesslike, so your needs and concerns and wants just do not matter to them. You have a lot less than number 3. They're definitely out there, but they're not the majority. It's a lot of number 1 and number 2, like nice guys that have had to transition into being unable to help and manage every single individual need. And I'm going to talk about why they burn out, and I'm also going to talk about why the game devs burn out and why they withdraw from like social media and stuff like that. Going to do a little construction here. We'll start with economic theory. We are beings of unlimited wants and desires. This is something that you'll learn very early on into almost any economics class. A human being is something that always wants more. You ask a guy how much he wants, or a girl how much they want, and the answer is always more than I have now. We want millions of hundreds of thousands of things at any given time. We're practical creatures, so we don't demand them or expect them, but we'll definitely take all that we can get. The internet is an almost unlimited space for niche. I mean, there's a finite amount of population, but as far as practicality goes, there is nothing more niche in existence than the internet. If you want to find niche, the internet's the way to go. I'll pick on Only Use Me Blade as an example. Let's say you want to watch gaming videos, okay, and then let's say you want to watch gaming videos about Call of Duty, okay, and Call of Duty commentaries, okay, and Call of Duty knife-only commentaries, and then you find Only Use Me Blade. There's a lot of specialty in that area, and there's like 80 people that have copied him, so you can do different sorts of knifing commentary. So that's an example of it. Internet is also very ease of access. It is very easy for you to reach out and send me a message. You can tweet at me. You can send me, I honestly don't check the Facebook page anymore. I got hacked so many times. Or send me a DM or a comment or whatever. And, most of the people read it. Most of the people are self-managed. And that kind of leads into the fourth part, is that internet celebrities, and I try to use that term very loosely on myself and others because I'm a peasant in this area. I'm a super small fry when it comes to like internet entertainment sort of stuff, like not even on the blip of radar for most people. But even the guys at the top are not real celebrities. They don't make real celebrity money most of the time. They don't have the same prestige. They don't have the same sort of like clout, and they don't have the same sort of like bonuses. Like a lot of companies, if you're a real celebrity, you get like a private address, you get a private phone number, a private account, you get a security team, you get like lawyers and people answer your messages and stuff for you. Like 99.9% of us here on YouTube and the internet space, same thing with game developers, it's just a guy and a computer. This is me. You can look, you can see my room all around me. It's just me and my computer. I have to handle my own contracts, my own security, my own messages, my own everything. So it's very easy for you to reach out and talk to me. And because of the internet greater dickwad theory, which says that given anonymity and an audience, everybody's going to be an asshole, just kind of because they can't in their normal everyday life. It's a venting place, and it's honest opinions that they wouldn't normally share. You get crazy negative feedback for every single thing. Like if I go and I read the comments on almost any video, there's going to be a bulk of them that are fairly neutral, just like I like or don't like this, and there's going to be a few positive and then like a boatload of negative comments. That's how it works, and I'm not whining about it or whinging about it. My comments are far better than most people's. I'm happy with the ones on my channel, even though I get some real zingers here and there. But internet is really crazy negative feedback, and it's also very demanding. So because you can easily access me or easily access any other streamer, YouTuber, whatever, because they know, you know, I have the same inbox you do, there is a sort of demand there that's higher than normal. Like if you watch a movie, and we'll say with Tom Cruise in it, you wouldn't say, you might not like it, but you wouldn't send him a message demanding that he redo his lines and do it differently, but you would definitely do that on the internet because you know the other guy will get your message, and because it's so specialty, they have to do that to appease the audience anyway. They're just sending a lot of demands like, can you help me do this, can you do that, I think your content should be this, do this, do this, do this. There's a lot of want, me. And that's totally okay. That's what I'm here to serve. That's what I'm here to work with. It's human nature. It's not a big deal. But there's no filter for it. It all just comes in straight into your brain, which is how, as I was talking earlier, the YouTubers that are nice guys that try to help, I'm trying to do weird things with my hands here, try to help everybody, they just totally burn out. They can't. They just crash and crumble because there is no end to the demands, and the crazy other people get burnt and they just totally withdraw, and a few people just never cared to begin with. But you have to separate yourself in order to just kind of survive in this space. And the same thing happens with game developers. Game developers almost exclusively exist in a technological space on the internet. They don't get that sort of withdrawal, and especially the public figureheads. Any game that they make, if you disagree with any aspect of the game, you can then send them a message and tell them to what extent you disagree, and because of just the nature of the negativity on the internet, it's usually something along the lines of kill yourself, or you're horrible, or it's trash, or just something way beyond out of proportion, even really small things. I'll point to like Vonderhaar nerfed sniper rifles in Call of Duty, and he got so many death threats they had to I don't know if, did they hire more security for him, or did he just ignore all of them? I know he has security like everywhere he goes because of the amount of death threats, but little things like that. And game developers have the same ease of access. They're mostly normal people without giant security teams. They live on Twitter and Instagram. They have access, and everybody wants something. So when you buy a game, you have an expectation from this game. You want this game to fulfill a fantasy for you, an experience. You want it to be competitive. You want, if it's a sequel, all your old favorite things to come back, to be true to the franchise, a lot of this. And if it's not there, that's very frustrating. It's upsetting. It kind of hits this like what I was talking about, the wants. Like you want something, you want a very specific something, and you want a lot of it. And if you don't get it, this is very common throughout all of human history. We're immediately a little bit dissatisfied, but we move on, or we can be very dissatisfied and get angry about it. You can do either one of those. But now we can reach out to the creator. Like if you could like pick up a pair of shoes and know exactly the person that made them and designed them and tell them everything that you thought about your pair of shoes, that person would just be blown up and overwhelmed by messages. And the same kind of thing happens to game developers. They just get blown up by the amount of feedback. Like, you think we're just whining. You have no idea what it's like to have like 5,000 people screaming at you at once on a stream about something, or just like open your inbox and there's like 900 messages of all sorts of stuff. That's actually one of the more common messages that I get in my inbox is like, hey Drifter, we know you know people at Sledgehammer Games, and this is my master fix list for Advanced Warfare. Please do me a favor and send it to them. And I look and it's like a giant document like this long. I get like 10 of these a day. And the answer that I can tell them is like, you got to get in line behind like the other 10,000 people sending giant documents that are 10 pages long, and they can't deal with that kind of stuff. The negativity makes people withdraw the same way they do in the YouTube space, and they just kind of peel back. They can't take the heat because it can get kind of heated for whatever reason. And if you want to think about streaming or stepping into the internet space or whatever, you need to keep in mind that when you go public on the internet, due to the nature of how this works, you're going to get hated on. Jesus could ascend from heaven, resurrect the dead, you know, begin the rapture and all that kind of stuff, and you're going to get on, I don't know, we'll pick up like Facebook, and it's like, who is this Jesus loser? I wanted grandma to stay dead. It just, you can't avoid it. It's nutty. And it's often for no reason whatsoever, which leads me to my final point, and this is something that I've run into a lot and I find very frustrating, is that most of the people, their viewers here, they live in the first world. They have all of their needs taken care of, a lot of the wants. It's a very good standard of living, even if they don't admit it. Personal, emotional lives might be a little bit different, but first world living can often get very boring. You don't have really big challenges to aspire to. You don't have a survival goal. If you live in the first world, all you're really doing is playing this game of how much money I can get, and is it more than my neighbors? That's just kind of what we do, and that's kind of boring. It's a lack of challenge. And because of this, and especially with people that are very dissatisfied with their lives, they have this desire to create villains so that they can feel good about themselves. And in the gaming space, that's very easy to do because we all play games. It's competitive, it's on a battlefield, it's a hobby, and it's like, at least I'm with this clan and it's better than that clan. This clan over here is all like buttholes, these are bad people. But you see it in the YouTube space, like, this YouTuber is really bad, this guy is pure trash, I'm not going to have anything to do with this person, I'm going to move on and be the complete opposite, like this. Or like, these people are ruining gaming, these people are gods of gaming, and you kind of create your own little like good and bad guys so that you can align yourself with. It's something that just human beings psychologically do this for whatever reason. We need bad guys, we need a goal, we need something to defeat, something to fight, something to work for, or our brains just can't take it, they go crazy. And it's like, and it's also a little bit of the, at least I'm not like them. Like, if you feel a little bit bad about yourself, you can kind of project all of your hatred onto a different person or an enemy and just be like, well, you know what, at least I'm not as bad as they are, at least I'm not doing this and that, I'm better than them. And you get a lot of that on the internet too, which can be very frustrating. That makes it very hard to deal with anybody logically, not that human beings were ever logical to begin with. That's kind of running up the video here. Again, like I said, it was very negative, more negative than usual, and I'm not doing it like a whine or a cringe or like I hate my life, because that's not true. I absolutely love doing what I do. It is an awesome gig to be a YouTuber, streamer, and to get to play video games and make a living out of it. A lot of free time, a lot of fun. Well, free time is wishy-washy because you do have to spend it playing games and editing and stuff, but those are things that I like to do anyway, and I probably would be doing in my free time, so that's a good match. And there's a lot of great people on the internet, truly amazing, like heroes, like the dude, a random commenter on YouTube saved my mom's life. It was great. But there's a silent majority of people that are good, but they never have anything to say. It's only the assholes that talk, like truly. Like, in my worst moments, I always found that my best fans were people that had never previously spoken to me and would come out of nowhere like wizards to save my butt. And the louder the people are, the more frequently they comment, the like worse person they are. I don't know how that goes, but whoever the silent majority is in this video, whoever you are out there that never leaves comments and never thinks about it, it makes a huge difference just to get a few positive comments. So in the future, if you really want to help a YouTuber's day, you know, like the video, whatever, product, sponsorship, what'll really make people feel good about themselves, if you feel like, what's his face, Total Biscuit gets down on himself with depression pretty bad, just leave a nice comment. Say, thank you, I appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. Makes a huge difference. Anyway, guys, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.